back, Otafest listeners. It's the newest episode of your favorite podcast featuring myself, Jay, and I have a Nancy with me today.
Wahoo!
Whoa, we got a wahoo?
Wahoo!
Very good, very good. There is the sad absence of our good friend, Angelo, as he battles his way through the general miasma that has been occurring since like late November in this city, I feel like.
As he very unfortunately worded it the other day, he has been plagued. There is a plague currently inflicting him. He's recovering, but he's not good enough, sounding anyway, to be on the podcast today with us.
He'll never be good enough. Rise up, Angelo. You must do more. Be better.
We'll miss him, but in the meantime, we have some very exciting announcements about Otafest, that podcast you're here to hear about. So let's put our hands together and have a very warm welcome to our next guest to Otafest 2026, Leah. Leah is Japanese singer and solo artist. While Leah was living in America and studying vocal performance at Berklee University College of Music, she had the opportunity to be the vocalist for game, anime, and movie Air, and recorded the hit opening song Tori no Uta, as well as the insert theme song Aozora. She has then gone on to perform several world-famous anime and game tie-up songs, including Clannad, After Story, Angel Beats, Charlotte, Planetarian, and many, many more. Her song My Soul, Your Beats charted on Billboard Japan's Top Indies sales chart. And celebrating her 25th anniversary as an artist in 2025, she released her full-length original album, Sagaribana, and is very excited to visit Canada again in May. So, so exciting.
Yeah. But that's not all. Are you excited for the finale of Canada's Drag Race?
Yahoo!
From Canada's Drag Race, Season 6, we have Ebony LaBelle. And from Canada's Drag Race, Season 6, Van Goth. You can follow them at Ebony the Queen and at It's Van Goth. Your queens are waiting. Grab your tickets now.
I love that Drag Race has become such a big thing for Otafest. Like, it's something I look forward to every year.
Oh, for real. Is this what it's like to be a historian? I remember the days where when we first started thinking about even implementing drag into our regular programming or inserting it into our performance programming, there were doubts. There were doubts not specifically because of the gay rights issues or the idea that it's maybe a little bit more risque. It was just simply because there were people who weren't sure whether it would fit in, was the relevancy to Otafest. And while I can understand it's not exactly anime and it's not exactly Japanese coded, I think that there's a simple argument to be made, which is it's what the people want.
So I remember a lot of our guests having told us in the past, after we started having drag guests, that anime was such a core part of their awakening, right? And I think that speaks volumes to its relevancy. It's like so many things that are kind of drag adjacent were probably something I experienced in anime first and then saw in drag performance later as an adult. Because, I mean, I remember watching, I think it was like Aura and Host Club, and her dad's a drag queen and very pleased about it, and she's not bothered by it, and it's very normalized. And I was like, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. And then I found out later on that so many drag queens were inspired by so many anime from that era of just like growing up and wanting to be that bombastic and cool. And
well, I mean, I can delve a little bit here
Mm-hmm.
about some history I do know. Like if we want to argue for relevancy, right? In Japanese performance culture, for the longest time in theater productions, and I want to say this is not uncommon across multiple cultures across the world.
Oh, yeah,
The origins of theater culture were that men used to perform female parts.
they did. So this is a thing in Chinese opera, classically.
Hmm.
This was definitely a thing in Japanese classic opera, too.
Hmm. I think there's some history of that as well in European theater culture. Like it's if that's one thing, but you could also say that you say that there's like a nostalgia, there's like awakening from like especially from anime of a previous era. Uh, a lot of the bishonen sort of genres, the beautiful men of anime kind
Ikemen.
of help inspired a lot of these things, and they're all interwoven. No such subculture or subgenre ever exists on its own purely. Like there has to be inspiration, and it like it has to be informed from other cultures. So it's just an evolution of that, and now it's grown that we have drag race winners and finalists and community performers come to Otafest and just put on a great show. I'm super happy about it. Um, and speaking of super happy for shows that we have and guests, Leah, of course, is coming. That's a huge nostalgia hit for me. I grew up watching Air and Clanad a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
played Planetarian. Um, I listened to all the songs that we have already mentioned in the announcement before. I am very excited to have her. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see that we've had such a great mix of guests from all over the world coming in, and it's so cool. It's going to be a really, really eventful year yet again, so don't miss out. Go grab your tickets,
Hmm. Hmm.
especially before prices increase again, which I think is coming
Hmm.
up soonish.
I believe so in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, never miss your opportunity. But we do appreciate those people. We've mentioned them before, where they're like, I just want to support Otafest more. You can have my full money for the tickets because I know I'm coming anyways. And you know what? That's fair. If you have the disposable income and you're supporting a local event and it's going to cost you $10 more and you don't think you're going to miss $10 or whatever it is, I won't say that we don't appreciate it. And while it's kind of, you know, I always like a deal personally, but
Mm-hmm.
I do understand supporting the thing that you love and not really minding that it's $10 here or there on an annual basis, you know, helps support that thing that you love. By all means, do that thing. Do it
Yeah.
the way you want to.
Do it the way you want. The only thing I would maybe hazard a warning for is that you may run into selling out. You may, depending on
That is
how on
true.
top
That
of
is a thing.
that ticket buying.
That's a thing that happens now with us. It's
Kind of
wild.
crazy to think about.
I don't think I ever thought about that kind of thing
Oh, we definitely didn't when we were back at the
when we first.
University of Calgary.
Exactly. No. And we can nostalgia trip hard, but yeah, just it is wild. It's very heartwarming all the time to think about kind of where we came from. And I'm not even like original Gen. There are some people with us staff wise that are almost as original as it gets with like the founding of the dedicated otaku anime club,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still around and they see how it's grown, and it's like if you just take a moment and take a look back, you're like, what happened?
Look, every now and again, people whip out photos from back in the day, and I'm just like, man, so many of us still look the same.
Just babies.
Just slight baby faced, ever so
Yes.
slightly.
Some of us have more hair, some of us have less hair.
Ooh, very true. Very true. I've gone through
Yes.
a number of different haircuts over the years. And it's funny because I know that about 80% of the time, if anybody posts like an old Otafest photo from at least 10 years ago, it's very slim. You'll find me in it because I was almost always doing something when we took staff photos.
Now, oh, um, like this doesn't really change anything, so I think I'll mention it. Um, there recently in the Otafest chats, like our we have team channels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People have been pulling out like nostalgic items, like
Mm.
old guidebooks and probably some lanyards and photos and whatnot. And people are like, who's keeping track of the history? Because we do have people, we kind of do want to keep track of the history because the history informs our ongoing culture and how we develop Otafest and how we approach it um, as
We need to
a,
have an Otafest historian.
yes, we do need an Otafest historian. And I just kind of had an idea literally 2 minutes ago. It's like, we should have like a Otafest nostalgia panel.
Oh my god.
That would be such a good panel.
We'd have to book enough space for enough people.
Oh, this would actually. I would hope that it would be well attended. I think it would be well
I
attended. I kind of
absolutely
want to
think it
do
would
it.
be well attended. That's why I'm worried we wouldn't have enough space. Like people would
Yeah,
be wait lined out, I think. Um
maybe. There's something about there's something about it. I would love to just get people together, and this is wild. I just got a message from Jenny.
no.
She it makes it sound like she's listening right now, but that's
What?
impossible.
No.
But maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's like an all-encompassing sign. Somebody should do this nostalgia panel. Maybe it'll be me, but I'm not the greatest historian because I have a god-awful memory.
You just watched the inception of a new panel live unfold
It's
on this
true.
podcast.
That'd be great. That'd be a good time.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
speaking
Oh
of good
my
times,
gosh. Mhm.
there's an event rolling through in March in Calgary. And I have not gotten fewer than like 10 notifications about it from other friends who are like,
We
yeah.
all know. We all know what you like, and when we see it, we're like, Jay, Jay, Jay,
Put
did you
your
hear?
eyeballs
Jay,
on this. I'm like, I knew about this already, okay? Just chill. There's an event called Sumo Fest. If you
Mm-hmm.
can't figure it out, it's a celebration of those beanbag chairs that were super popular in the 2010s.
Mm-hmm. I used to have one.
Jenny had one.
I used to try to sleep on it. Like, occasionally we'd have people coming in from out of town. We'd be very gracious and give them our bed, and then we would sleep on the sumo. Those things are terrible for long-term
Oh,
sleep, by the way,
absolutely.
because they continue to
Yeah,
shift
like
while
any
you're on
beanbag.
them, and it just dumps you onto the floor in the middle of the night, and you're like, "What the heck just happened? Where am I? What? Oh, I'm in the living room." Okay.
Oh, I actually, because I like to go, is it thrifting, sort of? Where I go to like Habitat for
Mm-hmm.
Humanity and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And I found a sumo chair there recently.
Wow.
And I was like, these things used to cost like $300. No.
Yeah, they weren't cheap. And then they started coming out with tons of knockoffs, and now they're much,
Yeah.
much more affordable.
Anyways, I may have led us down a garden path here because Sumo Fest is, if you, maybe had an inkling, it's not about beanbag chairs. It's about sumo, the people, the wrestler.
The
Yes.
sport.
An ancient Shinto religion adjacent sport of Japan that I have followed for many years. I've talked about it on the podcast at Otafest.
You went to an actual match when you were in Japan, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to the end of the year final day championship match day in Fukuoka. It was a good time. I would love to go back there again, but people are bringing sumo across the ocean to our lands. Sumo has been in America at least for a little bit. There's no real such thing as like I think development in anywhere though. In North America, it's mostly a little bit of show, but there's most of the development actually happens sometimes in some parts of Eastern Europe, Bulgaria, Poland. There's Polish and Bulgarian, and there's a Ukrainian sumo wrestler right now in the high ranks, in the professional high ranks. But in terms of America, it's mostly exhibition shows. The Sumo Fest. We're not cross promoting. I'm just saying I'm excited because I'm going. Everyone's already recommended it, and I was like, I'm already going. Just calm down. I'll see you there. I actually bought tickets for 13 people. There's a
Jesus.
contingent of us,
Wow.
and there's actually people still coming and adding themselves to our numbers. Um, the show seems. I
That'd be
wish there
so
were
cool.
more wrestlers, but I'll always want more, of course. There's 4 wrestlers, I think, on the roster, 2 of which were high level professionals that I think recently retired. One of them being Ichinojo. Ichinojo was like he is a big dude. Even in sumo, he's quite tall, and he is large, to say the least. The last time I was in Japan, I went to a sumo lunch event where they sort of the money that you pay in for these events helps go to like the junior sumo development organizations. So it's kind of nice, and they do have uh, a ring, and a dojo, and like they do a sumo performance there, and then you can also um, put yourself up against a sumo wrestler. And I would say I'm slightly taller, and I have broader shoulders than your typical like Japanese person. So on like in the average population, I would probably be like considered a little bit bigger than most. Uh, Sumo wrestlers make me feel really small. They're like the NFL linebackers of Japan, where they're like, they're the athletes. They're the 6'4", guys, and they tossed me like I was just a baby, just getting tossed.
Just a
Yes.
wee baby. Welcome to my world. Everyone feels bigger than me, but especially if I were to stand across from an actual sumo
Yes.
wrestler. Oh
They
gosh.
are very impressive physiques. And everyone thinks that they might be slow. They are not slow. They
No.
are
No, in fact, the point is that they're quite
Yes,
quick,
they're
actually.
as fast. I would say a big guy, like a bigger guy who would have less dexterity than a smaller sumo wrestler, probably has the speed and dexterity of a normal man. That's
I
that's the
think you're right.
athleticism that we're talking about. And yeah, my partner watched me get tossed at that sumo lunch. It was she laughed.
Did she take video?
You will never see the light of day.
I guess I'll just have to ask the next time I see
Sure.
you in
She
person.
will happily share that with you. But yeah, Sumo Fest
Excellent.
sounds like a really good time. I would recommend it if you want to learn. If you happen to find me somehow, if you can identify me in the crowd, I will yap your ear off about what's happening. I don't mind.
I will find you later to yap my
Yes.
ear off about this.
Moving on from
Indeed.
ears to eyes. How are your eyes, my dear Nancy?
My eyes, my face actually is currently adjusting to wearing new glasses. It was new glasses day on Wednesday night. I went to see my optometrist like a good girl late last year. And while I was there, they asked the usual battery of questions. How's your eyes feeling? How's this? How's that? And one of the questions was, do you get headaches? And I'm like, well, yeah. I
You're in
mean,
Calgary. Who doesn't get headaches?
exactly. But I've also identified in the last couple of years that I've actually identified that I get migraines. One of the things that my family doctor told me was everyone's triggers for migraines is different. And I know this to be true because I have a friend who gets migraines from specifically coffee. So the specific types of things that can be found in coffee trigger it. The tannins in red wine will trigger it. Weather will trigger it. And so I've discovered in my intense note taking of when I get migraines, yes, I sometimes get weather based migraines, but a lot of the time my migraines stem from light problems. So if I spend an entire day uh, in a boardroom with big windows and we're facing a very large, glaring, it's kind of a backdrop, that usually gives me a migraine. If I am driving at night and those really, really bright LEDs on big trucks or on bigger SUVs that are very poorly aimed and they flashbang my retinas at night, that will give me a migraine, that sort of thing. So I went through kind of the optical causes of migraines with my optometrist, and she goes, yeah, there's actually been a lot of research done around that recently. You might want to go talk to one of our eyewear specialists up front, because we now have this new tint you can put in your lenses that kind of takes out a lot of the more migraine leaning wavelengths. So, I was expecting, oh no, they're going to be bright yellow, just like my gaming glasses. Yes, I have a pair of Gunnars from like years
Gaming
and years and years ago.
glasses.
They were sold to me as
They
gaming
increase my
glasses, and I was like, wow,
FPS.
that's so
They
cool.
have RAM.
That is so cool. I need those. And to be fair, yellow lenses do increase contrast. So when you're, if you are playing games or if you're just in like dimly lit environments, the contrast of all the blacks and the shadows are brought up a lot. So you actually do see better in dimmer lighting. That said, that has nothing to do with this. These are not yellow tints. They actually are this like very kind of a lovely pinkish rosy tint. And I was really worried when she told me that, because I was like, I don't know if that will look acceptable on me. Like, I can think of a lot of friends who would look perfectly fine with like rosy tinted glasses on. I was like, I don't like I generally tend to skew away from colored lenses when it comes to choosing sunglass lenses. I usually just go for like a straight neutral gray. And if failing that, the closest to a neutral gray that I can get. And I was very worried. But I got these glasses, and I've had them for 2 full days, not counting yesterday because I took a bit of a break. I'm still not used to wearing glasses a lot, so I get that bit of soreness like on my ears. Maybe that's more of an adjustment thing, we'll see. But that's the story. That's why I now have these very cute glasses. Jay was like, oh, I like your glasses. And I was like, yeah, they're supposed to be for migraines. And he was like, wait, tell me more. So the general philosophy here is that this specific tint cuts out a lot of the wavelengths that are known to cause migraines in a lot of people that are prone to like light-based migraines. So I will let you know how this goes as I get to wear these more and like actually see if it reduces it for me. I do notice that things feel a lot less harsh on my eyes when I wear these though. Like even just in regular, I'm sitting on the couch and we're watching something, or I'm just at my computer doing my day-to-day work. I do feel like things are just relatively less harsh feeling. And I think the interesting thing about that is that I don't think I noticed how harsh it felt until it wasn't feeling harsh anymore. And if anyone out there like me lives with perpetual chronic pain, it's one of those things you don't realize until something takes it away.
I lost the sunglasses I wear on a more regular basis. I don't know where they are right now, but I have these red tinted ones. And I like wearing them
Mm-hmm.
even when it's a little cloudy outside because I've gotten used to wearing them so often. And the softening of the world's general brightness has felt really nice when I did have them. I've had to readjust since to exposing my naked eye to the photons of the world. But while I don't know the science behind like the tints of sunglasses, I would say I think it's worth exploring. And they do really look super good on you, Nancy. So I'm hoping that this is both a fashion statement and, again, very effective for you. I
Yes.
wish I could find my sunnies because God, even winter sun sucks just as bad as summer sun
Oh, yeah.
because it's low.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's low in the horizon.
Absolutely.
It the light bounces off everything. When everything melts, comes through
Yep.
here. You're like, God.
Bounces off the sun, the rest of the other sunlit surfaces, it bounces off the snow, it bounces off wet roads, it bounces off the
Hmm.
ice. It's
While I
bad.
wouldn't say that I'm in the same sort of stratosphere when it comes to things like migraines or even headaches in general, because I really get less than like 10 headaches a year, probably on average. There are years where I don't get any headaches, but I'm getting older and I've been getting a couple more headaches here and there, but not anything really debilitating in any way and not indicative of a pattern yet. Um, but honestly, I just think that most places are just too well lit.
I agree. I think lighting has changed a lot. So last night I was at the Jack Singer for a show, and immediately I could tell you that the lighting there
Mm.
feels nicer.
Softer.
And chances are it's because a lot of those light bulbs haven't been changed out for LEDs. And it feels more comfortable. It feels less harsh. It feels
Hmm.
less glaring. It's more comfortable. And yeah, in a lot of places now where LED bulbs are used a lot more, and it's not using those deliberately
Hmm.
warmed up
Hmm.
LEDs, the ones that kind of look like
Incandescents.
filament shaped.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's very
sure.
harsh. And I do find that these glasses help make things a lot less harsh feeling. Even some of the lights in, like, and I hate to say this, even some of the lights in some spots of
Hmm.
my house that have LED bulbs in them, they feel a lot less harsh when I'm in there. And I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize this bathroom bothered me so much. It's it's strange. And again, it's just one of those things you notice when you have something actually
Hmm.
making it less harsh. You don't notice it until you realize
I
just how
think
harsh it
even
actually
if,
is.
again, I don't know the science for the migraine part of it, but even if they just give your eyes a rest, isn't that nice?
Correct.
That's why I wore those
Very
other
correct.
sunnies, the tinted ones, because it's like not full dark, so that you'd be like, why are you wearing dark sunnies inside a mall or something where it's also got lots of lighting? But it's just like it just really just turns down the world just a notch. And I'm like, it's nice.
Mm-hmm. So not only do I find this tint just makes life a lot more bearable in general, um, I find it funny that I've had to become so much more sensitive to what causes migraines in the last few years, because not only do I get
Hmm.
light-based migraines, I also get migraines from
Oh,
forgetting to eat. Which explains why so many folks at Otafest are always asking me, Nancy, have you eaten yet? And also explains why I am always with, like, a partner whenever we're working on anything together, because that partner is partially responsible for reminding me to be an adult and
some
eat.
people have like support animals for like anything from emotional support or for physical support. Nancy needs a caloric support animal, which makes it sound like she's about to eat that animal, but it's not.
I need a health support Otafest staff member.
Can
Yeah.
can I quick aside? I was at Marshall's the other day. My partner
Mm-hmm.
was looking for some furniture and some other stuff, and we were just browsing, and we came across this pet bed, I think it was. I didn't look that closely at the product, but it was a pet bed sort of
Mm-hmm.
looking product for cats or at least a small dog, right? And it was it was one of those fully enclosed ones. So it's not just, like a pillow. It's an enclosure, but this was all like designed and styled of in the way of a Korean barbecue shop. But I had a weird twinge that it felt sort of racist because you could see
Yeah.
the animal like
Oh.
poke its little head out of this like barbecue, like Asian barbecue restaurant, and I was like, I'm not actually offended, to be
uh,
very clear. It is actually funny, and it
yeah, I'm
was
not
kind of cute,
offended, but I'm
but I was
cringing
like,
a
did
bit.
no one in market, because remember, when products come out, people have to say yes to it. Someone proposed it.
Yeah, there has to be a long
Yes,
list of approvals
someone
that sign
proposed
off
it,
on this.
someone followed up on it, someone designed it, someone pushed the product promo for it, someone designed the box for it. All of these levels require someone saying yes.
Approval.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, it
Yeah,
was
that's a
funny.
little yeah, that's
Anyways,
silly.
yeah, Nancy, we'll get you an emotion, a caloric reminder animal. That's what I mean. Yeah,
Support staff.
very good.
uh, yeah. Anyway, so migraines, very bad. Do what you can to minimize migraines. The first part of that is just figuring out what
Hmm.
triggers them.
Do a health for you.
Yes. Take care of yourself so you can go and enjoy
Exactly.
Otafest.
That's all we really want. Because we have had people pass out. We have had people have a bad time because of the, I will just frankly call it out for what it is. People not taking care of themselves because they get too excited for Otafest. And I'm like, that's great and all, but now you're here and you're not enjoying yourself. Not good. The equation
Mm,
isn't working out here.
yeah.
What else is happening with you, Nancy?
So this is gonna be a broad call for help, maybe? Not really. I very recently got a turntable. Last year, my partner decided to buy me a very nice thing, and that nice thing was the Final Fantasy Orchestra set on vinyl. And there's a lot of things that I find appealing about this. I love having physical music. I still kind of miss my CD collection type thing, you know? But I also just really liked the bonus Amino artwork that was
Mm-hmm.
like this sleeve is gorgeous. It's a really beautiful collaborative collage type thing with like a bunch of new pieces of art as well. And you get to see like some of those historic Tifa in her original form where she was mostly themed in red instead of, the white top that she has now. Things like that. And it was gorgeous. It's a gorgeous piece of physical thing to own. But it was really funny because I don't have a turntable. I now have this beautiful 4-disc vinyl set that I can't play. And so I was still very happy about it, right? Like, I love owning these physically beautiful pieces from an artist that I really admire. So, points for the art and for the music because the composer and the performers that were recorded for this, amazing. It came with an MP3 download, so it's not like I never
I
heard
love
the
that it comes with
music.
MP3.
We got to hear the music, but we have never physically played the vinyls themselves. So, it was a good thing to own. And then, so for the entire last year of 2025, I bandied around the idea of, you know what? I really want an actual turntable. I have always romanticized it because my uncle had one when I was a kid, and I remember just really enjoying that feeling of like putting a new disc on, and you put the needle down, and it sounds gorgeous. And thankfully, it's not a dead art, right? A lot of people now still very much appreciate it. Vinyl has had a pretty big comeback in recent years, I guess. So it's not something that I need to consult the sages of yore
Mm-hmm.
about anymore. It's actually quite a popular pastime and
Yep.
collectorship for a lot of people. So I consulted a friend. He has loved vinyl for a very long time, even before it had its big comeback. So he loved it before it was even that cool. And he had a really good recommendation. I sort of just kept an eye on prices for that recommendation for a while. It hit an extremely good price on Boxing Day, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get it. It's a really good price. I've never seen it that low before. So I got it. It showed up. We plugged it in. It's now hooked up to the regular home theater system, and we got to play the Final Fantasy vinyls for the very first time, and it was amazing. And yes, Sephiroth's theme is so overly played now, but damn, hearing that on vinyl was something else. I thought I was pretty desensitized to that theme by now, but it actually is. Just everything sounds extra good on vinyl. So I guess now I'm a person who likes to listen to music in its most inconvenient form.
It's
Uh,
not the most inconvenient
and
form. I would
now,
say bringing the live orchestra is more inconvenient.
yeah, but that assumes you have the money to pay an orchestra to perform for you
Just
at your
saying.
whim. And if I ever have that much money, I don't know that that's where I would spend it. Like I would probably spend it on supporting,
Mhm.
philanthropy a lot more.
I just on the
But
topic of vinyls really quick here. You're right. Like they're not
yeah, yeah.
I don't have the nostalgia for vinyls, but I do sort of
Mm-hmm.
by association know a bit about it. And when I was in Japan last, they're still producing a lot of vinyls, so you can pick up a lot of vinyls for Japanese artists, American artists still produce
Mm-hmm.
vinyls. The wave of resurgence, I think I want to say, started around 15 to 20 years ago for vinyls. The demand started increasing there because
Mm.
people, I think, just realized that it's still a very relevant music format. For people who don't know why you would bother, um, vinyl, because it's a piece of physical media, as opposed to a digital format, it actually sort of introduces warmer tones into the music. Generally, people feel that the
Mm-hmm.
noise made is very it feels more like they are reproducing the performance as opposed to a recording. I don't know how to explain that any better because like I said, I'm not such an aficionado. um but the funny thing is, in the same sort of vein here, I don't know if you were aware, Nancy, but about 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, there's another resurgence of media. We might have talked about it before. Cassette tapes
Hmm.
are a thing. People are
Oh,
getting back into the A
wow.
side, B side magnetic cassette tapes, where if the tape falls out or becomes misaligned, you gotta find a pencil and rewind that sucker.
And rewind it, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. I oh
Those
man.
were fun. Those were a good time.
VHS too. VHS. Oh, good stuff. Um anyway, on this whole tangent about owning
Mhm.
physical media, I've also discovered that apparently artists get more money from selling vinyls and physical media than they do in
Oh,
almost any
interesting.
other format. So if you actually really want to support an artist, buying vinyl from them is
Oh,
actually
that's
one of the
cool.
ways you can support them the
I did not
most.
know.
It's a really interesting thing about that. Yeah. Something I found out just like earlier today, actually. But on the conversation of vinyl, I promise you this is relevant. So tying it back, there's a lot of now that the bug has bit, and now that I have a turntable and I'm gonna want to use it for more than just the Final
DJ
Fantasy
Nancy.
album that I have. I now I'm wondering to myself, what albums
Oh,
do I want
that.
to
Yeah.
own? And the requirements are that it's something I actually want to own and listen to. Like, it can't just be something that I love. it has to be something I want to listen to and not just something that belongs to a
Mm-hmm.
franchise I love. So, for example, one of the things that came up today, hey, did you know that Evangelion is releasing a vinyl set for its anniversary this year? And I was like, do you want it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the answer was no. And I was like, really? I'm so surprised you don't want it. And so, for those who don't know, my partner, Ava, was a very large part of, I think, our formative
Yeah.
years. Like
If you
it,
grew
it
up in the
was, it
90s,
was a very specific level of,
if you grew up in
yeah.
the 90s
But
and you were born maybe anywhere from like 84 onwards, especially, I think that 84 to
so
2000,
as a millennial,
84 to 2000 pretty much. Yeah.
millennial or
That
younger,
was that
yeah.
was big.
Um, And then Ava Rebuild
Mhm.
happened, right? Like over the course of whatever it was, like 10 years, they released the rebuild movies, and that also caused a bit of a resurgence. Like I remember over the pandemic, Netflix had its own dub of the original
Mhm.
show, which came under fire for various things, but it just got a lot more of a spotlight put on it. So I was actually very shocked when my partner said no to the Ava
Mhm.
soundtrack on vinyl. And the reasoning was because he'd probably never listened to it. And I was like, really? Like, I think that if they released one that had kind of the iconic themes from the original show, plus maybe some of the themes from the rebuild movies, that's something I might want to listen to. But regardless, the requirements now are, is it a soundtrack you'd want to listen to? So I love listening to soundtracks. There are a number of soundtracks from anime specifically that I think I was very
Mm.
attached to in some of my formative years. So Escaflowne is one of them.
Yo.
Again, Yoko
Mhm.
Kanno,
Mhm.
mwah, chef's kiss. Escaflowne soundtrack was amazing, and I listened the heck out of it when I was in like my university years. Um, what else? So Macross Plus,
Macross makes sense. Yeah.
another Yoko Kanno gem. Uh, Cowboy Bebop, if we had the soundtrack to that on vinyl, would
Mhm.
100% listen to that. So, like, the obvious direction we went in was like, which anime
Is this
soundtracks
only
would
for
you
anime
want?
so far? Because you
And
haven't
and
really
like
mentioned things
Jay,
like I thought you would have mentioned like Chrono Trigger,
right? Okay,
right?
that was just the anime. So other soundtracks, I would absolutely want a Final Fantasy VIII
That's very good. Very
soundtrack.
good.
Chrono Trigger, absolutely. Uh, oh, so many. So there's just so much, and I would listen to these because these are things I actually really enjoy the sound of, and we don't get to just listen the heck out of
Mhm.
something anymore. So, like Jay said, maybe this is something I'm gonna have to consider on my next trip to Japan or anywhere like that. But if anyone has ideas on where to get good, reputable vinyls in Canada,
There's
I
two
would
shops
also
I
like
can
to
think
know.
of. I will recommend them right now, really quick. There's a shop in Inglewood, and then there's a shop in
There's
17th
two in Inglewood.
Ave, Sloth Records. I can't remember the name of the one in Inglewood, but I like
Oh,
Sloth Records as well. But they're a little bit more. I think they have more contemporary things, but there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, check those out.
no.
On one final note, if I were to
Mm-hmm.
listen, if I had a turntable and if I were so inclined to listen to records, I would absolutely, tying it all back, I would get the Air TV soundtrack. I will listen to Tori no Uta because it is a very, I don't know, I just really like the vocals of that song. I like how that song progresses throughout. It's very orchestral in nature, that whole soundtrack. It's very good. Legend of Zelda soundtrack, like all the Legend of Zeldas,
Oh
especially
yeah.
Ocarina and
Oh yeah.
Majora's Mask. Very good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of soundtracks that I would love. And since I was listening to a lot of soundtracks yesterday, I would probably want like a definitive Hans Zimmer
Oh
collection or a
yeah, for sure.
definitive John Williams
Or Danny
collection.
Elfman even.
Like so many, so
Yeah,
much,
have fun with
yes.
it. It sounds like a really good
But
time.
yeah, I'm gonna lose so much money to vinyl collecting in the
It's
next
okay.
year.
It's
Oh
just
my
like how
god.
I got into plastic crack, and I am already out of plastic crack. So It's okay. You'll get there. You'll saturate at some point. It'll be fine.
Just buy more
No.
plastic crack. It's fine.
No. My money. And with that, I think we can end this episode. Thank you so much for listening and joining Nancy and I. Take care.
See you next time.